What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and everybody is still buzzing from that Deadpool and Wolverine trailer that was officially released yesterday. If you didn't catch my breakdown, you can check that out after this video, but I do believe there is one thing about the trailer that I did get wrong, and that is in the form of the main villain for Deadpool 3. Now, we didn't really talk about the main villain yesterday because they didn't really show the main villain in the teaser trailer. At least it doesn't really seem like they did, but I believe there is one scene where we do see the actual villain of the film. And just to clarify, there are going to be a few different stories going on in Deadpool 3. Of course, we have the story of Deadpool and the TVA, Deadpool and Wolverine, and then of course the overall story of the multiverse essentially falling apart and Deadpool needing to fix it, saving his own universe, saving maybe other Fox universes, saving the MCU, the entire multiverse basically against Kang the Conqueror. However, we know Kang the Conqueror is not the main villain of this film. Of course, this is just the teaser trailer, so they're not really going to tell us much about the movie. I mean, heck, we know Wolverine's going to be in the movie. We have seen pictures of him. Hugh Jackman and Deadpool came out and did 2 videos announcing that Hugh Jackman was returning as Wolverine, and we still barely saw him. I mean, we saw Patch Wolverine in this, the Wolverine wearing the white suit, and then we just saw the shadow of Wolverine, and very briefly for like half a second, we saw that very comic accurate suit, which looks just fantastic. So they really did tease us, even though we already knew Wolverine was going to be in it, and we've already seen him in a suit. But as far as teasing the actual villain of the film that the film is going to focus on, they did a great job of teasing it. In fact, they made us think, at least myself personally, that it was somebody else. So let's talk about who the villain of Deadpool 3 actually is. And if you're new, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all things Deadpool 3 and the MCU. We're also giving away an Xbox Series X and PS5 to subscribers. More about the giveaway at the end. So there's one scene, like I mentioned, that I believe I got wrong. There's a scene where we see the back of somebody and that person is bald. I originally thought that this was Professor X. Patrick Stewart has stated that he is not done playing Professor X. And yes, he did state this a while after Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was already out. In fact, he didn't simply say that he was not done, but he said him and Sir Ian McKellen were not done. So I'm fully expecting Professor Xavier and Magneto to show up again. It might not be till Secret Wars, but Deadpool 3 would be the perfect opportunity to bring them back as well. This is why I kind of skipped past the scene pretty quickly because I just assumed it was Professor Xavier. However, I don't think it is anymore. I do believe it is a relative of Professor Xavier though, his twin sister, Cassandra Nova Xavier, the true villain of this movie. Now, if you know who she is from the comics, they might be changing this up a little bit based off of what insiders have said in the past. So it might not be the Cassandra Nova that you know, at least not to the T. Let me explain who this person is and what we have heard from the insiders over the past year about her role in Deadpool 3 as the villain. In the comics, Cassandra Nova truly is evil. And it's kind of Professor Xavier's fault, not exactly 100% his fault, but a lot of what Cassandra Nova Xavier does is to essentially get revenge on her brother Charles, and in this process she kills a lot, and I mean a lot, of X-Men and mutants. So one thing that you have to know about Cassandra Nova Xavier that is extremely important is that she is what is called a Mumudrai, which is the spirit that is the equal and opposite of a person, and she is the equal and opposite of Professor Charles Xavier, her twin brother. However, due to the amazing genetic potential of Charles Xavier, his Mumudrai was able to create a physical form, a twin, and in the womb of his mother, Sharon Xavier, Charles recognized an evil presence in there with him, and he preemptively tried to kill her with his psychic abilities. And yes, this is all in the womb of his mother, before he was technically born. So Charles attacked his sister in the womb and she wasn't really able to defend herself. And when it came time to delivering them, the doctor said that Cassandra Nova was a stillborn. She was born dead. However, she did survive, and over the next decade, she grew as a mass of cells in a sewer wall, and she built a new body for herself and planned her revenge on her brother. Now, what would happen is that she would go on to merge herself with the bodies of other mutants, and she even got control of the Sentinels and sent them to Genosha, the headquarters of the X-Men, and she ended up killing millions of mutants. She even managed to switch her consciousness with her brothers, Charles Xavier's. So she was incredibly powerful. However, that does not seem to be the story that we are going to get in Deadpool 3. In fact, it's going to kind of be the opposite, and it ties back to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Over the past year, as we've talked about Deadpool 3, several insiders like My Time to Shine Hello, Can We Get Some Toast, and more have all talked about Cassandra Nova, who is expected to be played by the actress Emma Corrin. And based off of what we've heard, she is going to look exactly like Cassandra Nova does in the comics. A bald head, a trench coat, which is what we can see in this scene right here. So again, this is believed to be Cassandra Nova, and in fact, many different outlets are reporting that this is her at this point in time. But like I mentioned, it looks like she might be a little bit reversed, and she might be kind of a good sister to Professor Charles Xavier. Based off of what we've heard, she's going to be hunting down Deadpool and Wolverine because her brother was killed. We're talking about Professor X from Multiverse of Madness from the 838 universe. When Professor X was killed by the Scarlet Witch, evidently, Cassandra Nova got super pissed. Now, at this point in time, it's unclear on whether or not she is from the 838 universe or not, but one thing that seems to be made pretty clear by some insiders is that she's going to have incredible abilities, telekinetic abilities, telepathic abilities, and the ability to travel the multiverse. And for some reason right now that we are not 100% sure on, she's going to be hunting down Deadpool and Wolverine. But this also does make something else a little bit more clear. We know that the TVA has an immediate threat that Deadpool needs to deal with. And we've also heard rumors and reports about this as well, that there's going to be a universe that the TVA can't really get control over. The reason they can't is because it's dominated by mutants. Mutants rule the universe. Now, originally we thought this might be Magneto. However, we now believe it to be Cassandra Nova. And this could even explain the scenes that we saw in the Deadpool 3 trailer. I still believe that this place is going to be the Void, where we see the 20th Century Fox logo in the background, and I believe we are seeing Alioth here. But all of the people who are there, not the TVA agents, but the other people like Pyro, who we saw in the trailer, they could be working for Cassandra Nova. There's a possibility that Cassandra Nova could rule the Void as well, since she does have multiverse travel abilities. And since Deadpool and Wolverine appear to be there in the Void, and she might see them defeat her other people, that could where it all begins. Plus, not to mention, if she's traveled the multiverse, she'll realize that Wolverine and Professor X are, or I should say were, really close to each other, and they could even say the same thing about Deadpool probably. In alternate universes, who knows what could happen? Basically, anything. There's an infinite amount of possibilities, but this could lead Cassandra Nova to chasing down Deadpool and Wolverine because she's mad that her brother was killed. Based off of what we know, this is pretty much what is going down in Deadpool 3, but like I mentioned, it's only one of the many stories that are going to be told. Ultimately, I'm assuming they'll defeat her, and the bigger threat of the multiverse collapsing due to many different incursions and Kang the Conqueror are what's going to be set up at the very end of Deadpool 3, because we already know Deadpool and Wolverine are going to go on to be in Secret Wars. Even in that very final scene, there was that Secret Wars comic on the very left that was put there very intentionally. So we know Deadpool and Wolverine are going to be in Secret Wars, but we know they have to get through Cassandra Nova Xavier, the sister of Professor Xavier, first. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. What do you think about the main villain of the film? Let us know your thoughts and theories. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay up to date on Deadpool 3 and the MCU. And if you subscribe and leave a comment, you are automatically entered in our giveaway for a chance to win an Xbox Series X, a PS5, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. The winner gets to pick one item, and we pick one winner at the end of each month. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter, and as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.